What's up, y'all? It's your boy eBay Predictions. I will be doing the full card. Marlon Moraes versus Corey Sandhagen. I think on Fight Island 5. I think that's what it's called. We did get some new bouts though, which is kind of crazy. I was ready to talk about this card, and we got some new bouts. So I'll talk about those preliminary bouts. We got Tom Aspinall versus Alan Bodat. Tom was supposed to fight Sergey Spivak. That was going to be a great fight. I can do the rundown. You know, Tom's 8-2, fights out of England, age 27, height 6'5". Allen is 8-1, and I think fights out of Japan, which is kind of crazy. Age 32, height of 6'4". I don't know a lot about Alan Boda. I really wanted to do some research on him, but it just happened right now. I was kind of pissed off about it. But I'm gonna be going Tom Aspinall. I might be eating shit on this, but I'm gonna be going Tom Aspinall on that one. I think Tom's just boxing and his ability to win fights. You know, the kid does have some losses on his record, right? Like, let me look at him. Like, who did he lose to? He lost, I think, a fight via what was it? Yeah, it was in 2016 via illegal elbow, and then he lost to Stuart Austin via heel hook in 2015. So really, honestly, I think in the stand up, especially his boxing, I don't think no one's touching him. But I think he might have a hole in the grappling. That's why the Sergey Spivak was so interesting. So if Alan Obodak can go for that takedown and maybe make the fight somewhat interesting there, he might have a chance. But I don't think he beats. I don't think he beats Tom Aspinall. Another fight that got made really early. Well, actually, this was supposed to happen on the Holly Holm Arena Aldana card. Tom Breeze versus Cade Buller. Don't know a lot about Cade Buller. Obviously, I think he's from India, right, or whatever. But yeah, Tom Breeze 11-2. Fights out of Birmingham, England, age 29, height 6'3", and reach 73. Cade Buller is fights out of Canada, age 28, and a height of 6'4". The reach is, they're not showing me it, but yeah, I'm going. Oh yeah, in the Tom Aspinall fight, I'm going Tom Aspinall I'm going first round KO. I think he finishes him really quick, and then for this fight against Tom Breeze and Cade Buller, I'm going Tom Breeze by third round submission. So yeah, those are my picks for that. So let's talk about the rest of the card. Let's get to it. Let's talk about Impa Kasanganay versus Joaquin Buckley. Impa comes in 8-1. No, 8-0, not 8-1. 8-0. Fights out of Charlotte, age 26, height 5'11", and reaches 73. Joaquin comes in 10-3. Fights out of Missouri, age 26, height 5'10", and reaches 73. In terms of recent wins, Impa's coming off a win over Maki Patalo. Joaquin Buckley's coming off a win, or his most recent win was against Jakey Josh. Impa's undefeated, so he has no losses. And Joaquin Buckley is coming off a loss to Kevin Holland. This would be a good fight if I didn't see Joaquin Buckley get knocked out like that. Joaquin Buckley is a really good fighter. He's a good fighter. I wouldn't say a really good fighter. He's a good fighter. I like the way he goes in the pockets. He has really stocky arms. He's just really buff, right? He's heavy set, and he likes to throw his hooks to the body, into the head. But in that, especially in the Kevin Holland fight, Kevin was really able to get out of the pocket and then just really punish him with that straight right down the pipe. Man, he got him good. Got him twice in that fight. So, but Impa doesn't fight like Kevin Holland, so that's one thing. He goes forward and he puts that pressure, man. So it's just one of those things. It's like, man, Hawkins, he just got knocked out in his last fight, and he didn't get knocked out where he was out, but he got dropped bad. So I don't like that. I'm gonna be going Impa Kasanganay by what I say on Topology. Let me look for it. Yeah, I'm going second round KO, man. Yeah, I'm going second round KO. Next fight, We got Marcus Perez versus Druskus Duplis. I'm gonna call him Druskus. Marcus comes in 12-3, fights out of Brazil. I think he's an American top team guy. Height 6'1", age 30, and reaches 73. Druskus is 14-2. From South Africa, my brother, my African brother, from Eritrea right here, in East Africa. So I might be pulling for it. Height 6 foot and age 26 and reaches 76. In terms of recent wins, or most recent wins, is Marcus's most recent win was against Anthony Hernandez, and Druskus' most recent win was against Brendan Lesnar. In terms of recent losses, Marcus's most recent loss was to Wellington Turman, and Druskus' most recent loss was to Roberto Solotis via TKO. This Druskus kid is really, really impressing me. I've seen a lot of tape on him. He reminds me a lot of Jack Hermanson. Really do like his style of striking. It's very stiff, but there is. You could tell he can go for a minute. Like he has a gas tank on him. I don't know why I feel that way about him, but like I remember when Jack Hermanson had that performance against Jacare Souza, he was just throwing these weird, stiff 1-2 shots at him, but he was just going for a minute. And just the Druskus kid, he reminds me a lot of him. I think he can get it done. I think he submits Marcus Perez. I wasn't really impressed with Marcus Perez's fight. I was more impressed with his weigh-in debut with the Joker face mask or whatever, and I guess he thought he was cool. So I think Druskus gets this down in the third round submission. Yeah, I say submission. Next fight, we got Tagir Umbleco versus Bruno Silva. I hope I'm saying Tagir's name right. Tagir, there's not a lot of information on these guys. I don't know why Typology didn't put it there, but it is what it is. Tagir comes in 12-1, fights out of Russia, height 5'7". Bruno is 10-5-2, so he has 2 draws, fights out of Brazil on height 5'4". In terms of recent wins, Tagir's most recent one was Delanis Matos, and Bruno's most recent one was Ralph Acosta in 2018. Tagir Umbleco's most recent loss was to Zoglis Zamagalov in 2018, and Bruno Silva's most recent loss was to David Dovrak, and that David Dovrak kid is he's good too, so no shame in that. I'm going Tagir Umbleco via decision. Bruno Silva hasn't. I think he's on a 2-fight losing streak. I don't think I think he gets out wrestled. This kid Tagir looks like the truth. He looks really, really good. I think his wrestling looks good. Even his striking is really good. His striking is very complimentary to his wrestling, so I think he gets this done by decision. Next fight, Ali Kliskus. I think that's how I say his name. Ali, and then versus Tony Kelley. Ali comes in 8-4, fights out of, or he's from Jordan, or he fights out of Jordan, or whatever. It is what it is. Age 30, height 5'6", and reaches 68. Tony's 6-2, fights out of Louisiana. Age 33, height 5'9", and it reaches 70. In terms of recent wins, Ali's most recent win was Jeremy Potawe. I think that's how you say his name. And Tony Kelley's most recent win was Andy Prosett. In terms of recent losses for Ali, he was coming off a loss over Erwin Rivera. And Tony Kelley's coming off a loss to Kai Kamaka. I think that's how I'm saying his name right. This is a really good fight. It's going to be competitive. I have a lot of respect for Tony Kelley. I saw the fight against Kai Kamaka. Kai Kamaka was obviously outboxing him. And this guy, Tony Kelley, made a really big decision. So, you know what, fuck it. I'm not going to get just outboxed. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out. And he went in the pocket, and he fucking started trading with him in the second round. That second round was fire. And he gained a lot of my respect. Ali, I remember when he was going to fight Erwin Rivera, a lot of people tell me he was going to beat Erwin Rivera just based on the wrestling, stuff like that. And I was like, man, Erwin's a scrapper, man. I don't know about that. So I ended up picking Erwin Rivera, and I ended up getting, I got gifted in that situation. But here's the thing. I haven't seen Tony Kelley deal with a wrestler before, so I don't know how he's going to adjust to that. I think Ali's going to be going for takedowns. He's not going to be in the pocket with him. But Tony's dangerous, man. He really can hurt this kid. But yeah, I'm gonna be going Ali via decision. I'm gonna be going that one. Next fight is a banger, y'all. this one you guys gotta watch. Giga Chikadze versus Omar Morales. Not for Giga, more for Omar Morales. I'm a big fan of Omar Morales, but Giga comes in 10-2. Omar's 10-0. Giga fights at Huntington Beach, age 32. Height 6 foot and reaches 74. Omar fights out of Florida, age 34, height 5'11", and reaches 74. I think Omar fights out of Hard Knocks. I think they're called Stanford now, right? I don't know what happened to the Hard Knocks gym or whatever they're doing, but yeah, I love what's it called? Henry Hoof. I love that guy. I love the way they do their striking. It's very basic, but it gets to the point, and they get W's. In terms of recent wins for Giga, he's coming off a win or his most recent win was Erwin Rivera. Omar's most recent win was Gabriel Benitez. Omar's obviously undefeated. Giga's most recent loss was to Austin Springer via, I think, was a second round rear naked choke. I remember watching that. Where was it? I was in high school, I think. It was maybe 2 years ago. And I think it was during class, and I was just so bored, and I think Contender Series was on. And I remember they were really hyping up Giga, and this Austin Springer, low-key kind of fat, a little chubby, and he gets that submission real quick. I'm like, what? It wasn't real quick. It was a good-ass fight, but, I was so surprised when he got the sub. I was like, what? That's insanity. But I have not been too impressed with Giga. Omar, on the other hand, I've been super impressed with him. He just looks like on another level, and I think Omar's gonna get this done by a decision. Giga's been the split decision king lately, and he's been having problems dealing with these little kids. And I think Omar Morales gets it done via decision. And just the way Omar, destroyed Gabriel's shin in his last fight, that shit was sick, bro. But yeah, next fight, Rodrigo Nascimento versus Chris Daukaus. This is a really good heavyweight fight, in my humble opinion. Rodrigo comes in 8-0, fights out of Brazil, age 27, height 6'2", and reach 80. Chris is 9-3, fights out of Philadelphia, age 31, height 6'3", and reaches 76. In terms of recent wins for both of these guys, Rodrigo is coming off a win over Dontel Mayes, and Chris Daukaus is coming off a win over Parker Porter. Rodrigo is undefeated, and Chris Daukaus' most recent loss is to NZ Inoue via KO. These guys kind of mirror each other in the stand-up. They're very Muay Thai heavy. I think that's the terms of their striking. I think that's where their base comes from. If you look at the way they fight, they throw a lot of kicks. They're chunky guys. I would say Chris Daukaus is probably a little more chunkier than Roger, but Roger could lose some weight too. But besides that, the both of them, their size is not really what's the word? Compare to their striking, right? Because they're very fast. Well, I wouldn't say fast, but they're very technical. I'd say that. But I did pick Chris Daukaus to beat Parker Porter. A lot of people called me crazy for that. I was really shocked by that one. There's a lot of things you can call me crazy for, but that one I didn't get. I just didn't think Parker Porter was gonna beat him. I don't know, but I think because I think the reason why Parker Porter lost that fight was his striking wasn't up there to get it to the ground, and I think Roger has a similar version of his of Chris Daukaus' striking, and I think he's just as good, and he goes forward too. So they're both are gonna meet each other at the middle. I think what separates this fight is the grappling, and yeah, I'm probably going Roger via second round submission. Man, he just walks guys down. He just hits them hard, and then they go for takedowns. He hits them so hard they go for takedowns. So, as much as I like Chris Daukaus and I like the Daukaus brothers, I think Roger is gonna take this one. I'm going him by a second round submission. Next fight, Tracy Cortez versus B Malecki. Tracy comes in 7-1, fights out of Arizona, age 26, height 5'5", and a reach of 67. B Malecki is 2-0, fights out of Sweden, age 29, height 5'9", and a reach of 74. In terms of recent wins, Tracy is coming off a win over Vanessa Mello, and her most recent loss was to Cherry Moresk. Bay Malecki is her most recent win was to Veronica Macedo, and she actually does have a loss on the Ultimate, the Tough Show to Leah Leston. So that's actually kind of interesting. This Malik girl, she's really, really good. She's actually been around the block a lot. She's done a lot of amateur Muay Thai, competitions. She's done a lot of boxing competitions. So she has the background and the striking. I don't know about the grappling. That's the one thing, and the experience. Tracy Cortez does have the experience. I think she's a bit of a heavy favorite. She could lose this fight, but I think Tracy Cortez is gonna put that she's gonna put that gut on her, and she's gonna put her against the cage and grind her out. And I think she's gonna get this by decision. Y'all know how I feel about female fights. Most of the time, I'm gonna go by decision. Next fight, this one pains my soul. Alejandro Perez versus Thomas Almeida. I know you guys might be thinking the reason it pains my soul is for Thomas Almeida. It pains my soul for Alejandro Perez. Alejandro Perez is a AKA guy. I'm an AKA fan. It's my favorite gym of all MMA. It's they're the goats. I might get some hate for that one, but Alejandro Perez comes in 21 and 8-1, has one draw. Fights out of Mexico. Age 31, height 5'6", and reaches 67. Thomas Almeida 22 and 3, fights out of Houston, Texas. Obviously he's from Brazil, but I think he fights. That's where he fights out of. Age 29, height 5'7", and reaches 72. Alejandro Perez's most recent one was Eddie Wineline via decision, and his most recent loss was to Seung Yadong. Man, that KO broke my heart, man. And Thomas Almeida's most recent one was to Albert Morales, and his most recent loss was to Rob Font. Rob Font knocked that fool out. So this is a really hard fight for me to personally predict, because a side of me is going Thomas Almeida, and a lot of you guys know I'm sometimes I can be pretty biased to people I like, and that's probably been the biggest struggle for me, to kind of pick against those people. I think Alejandro Perez can get it done. I am super biased. You don't have to listen to me on this situation, or any of these fights. You don't really have to listen to me, but I think Alejandro Perez gets this done by decision. I think he's more craftier. I think he's gonna get some takedowns in. He just has to be perfect. Thomas is really wild in there and always is looking for the finish. So I think that's what Alejandro Perez has to be wary of. But they're both coming off losses, bad knockout losses, especially Alejandro Perez. That Seung Yadong one was, he murdered him. Like, that was terrible. But yeah, I'm gonna be going Alejandro Perez by decision, and he's a bit of a decisionator. He likes to win his decisions, and even his loss to Cody Sandman. I know he's on a 2-fight loss streak. That was a close ass fight. That was a really and you look at that fight. He fucking picked Cody Sandman up and flipped him on his head. Oh man, y'all. I'll be playing with Alejandro Perez sometimes. But next fight is a good fight right here. Youssef Zalal versus Seung Choi. I hope I'm saying that guy's name right. Youssef comes in 10-2, fights out of Denver, Colorado. Age 24, height 5'10", and reaches 75. Choi is 8-3, fights out of South Korea. Age 27, height 6 foot, and reaches 74. Youssef's most recent win was against Peter Barrett, and Choi's most recent one was against Suman Mokhtaryan. And Youssef's most recent loss was to Matt Jones via split decision, and Choi's most recent loss was to Gavin Tucker. This is a really, really, really good fight here. It's a hard one for me to choose because Youssef's been on a run. He's been really looking really good. He also beat Max Griffin. He looked really good in that fight. But I feel like even though Choi's coming off the loss to Gavin Tucker, I feel like that Gavin Tucker loss doesn't really define him, because Zalal can take you down, but I don't think he has the wrestling of a Gavin Tucker. Gavin Tucker has really good wrestling, and he'll submit you. And yeah, it was even on the stand up, it was pretty competitive. Just every time it got to the ground, it was just Choi he was kind of lost in there and he kind of drowned. So it's kind of hard for me to pick because I feel like I don't want to pick Zala based on the fact that Choi's coming off a loss. But I just think Zala's a little... I don't know, man. I've been really impressed with that kid in the striking. Choi can strike. I've seen some things from him. But I'm going to be going to Youssef Zala. He has been on fire, though, this year. During this corona, man, he is going crazy. Just fighting. So, I'm going to be going Youssef Zala via decision. Next fight, Edson Baboza versus... a Makwan Amirkhani. I think did I say his name right? Let's go. If I said his name right, give me some credit. Edson comes in 20-9, the number 14 featherweight in the world, which is interesting. They put him in the rankings. Fights out of Florida, age 34, height 5'11", and reach 75. Makwan 16-4, fights out of Finland, age 31, height 5'10", and reach 72. In terms of recent wins, Edson's most recent one was Dan Hooker. That was on Kevin Lee versus AlQaisi. That's like 2 years ago. This is the last time that guy's won. Makwan's most recent one was against Danny Henry on the 251 pay-per-view, I think. I think that's what it's called. Edson's most recent loss was to Danny Ige. It's controversial. Honestly, his real most recent loss was to Justin Gaethje. And even the Paul Felder fight was controversial, but I'll talk more about that. Makwan's most recent loss was to Shane Burgos after Shane murdered him. So this pulls at my heartstrings a lot because I love Edson. I love Edson as a fighter. But Makwan, I can honestly... I had a dream, man. I had a dream. Makwan took this guy down and just choked him the fuck out in the first round. I don't want to think that's gonna happen, but Makwan is just on a different... He's just on some different shit when it comes to that first round. His strength, even look at the Shane Burgos, the first round, the way he picked Shane up like Shane was a little boy. And Shane's like twice his size, right? He's so dominant in that first round in terms of his grappling. But I just think Edson's... Oh my God. Edson's been so screwed, man. It's just not fair. It is not a fair world we live in. Oh, man. Edson, the Dan Ige fight, I thought Edson won. The Paul Felder fight, I thought he won. Based on just rounds, I thought he won the first two, right? You know, and he obviously he might have lost the last one for each fight, but it's like, fuck, man. Edson's always had some problems with grapplers. But Beneil Dariush is a good grappler, and he was able to stop some of his takedowns. So I'm going to go Edson Baboza via third round TKO, you know, because Makwan gets really tired. But, oh my God, please, God, don't let Edson. Bro, this would hurt me. And it would be a great win for Makwan. I like Makwan. Makwan's a really good, fucking fun fighter to watch. He's really, really good. His grappling's just, it's beautiful. But it would break my heart, man, if I seen Edson Barboza lose. So it's a little biased here. But I think Edson should be the favorite, though. I don't think no one can really disagree too much with me. But, man, it's just he's an unlucky guy there. So, yeah, I'm gonna be going Edson Barboza, third round TKO. Next fight, co-main event, Ben Rothwell versus Marcin Tybura. Ben comes in 38-12. Fights out of Milwaukee, age 38, height 6'4", and a reach of 80. Marcin is 19-6. Fights out of Poland, age 34, height 6'3", and a reach of 78. Ben is coming off a win over OSP, and his most recent loss was to Andrei Arlovski. Some people thought he won that fight. Tybura's most recent one was to Maximum Grishin, and his most recent loss was to Augusto Sakai. This is a good heavyweight fight. I thought Marcin Tybura was ranked, but apparently he's not. That's kind of crazy. I thought they would have stuck him around near 15 or something like that. But Tybura's a good grappler. But Ben Rothwell is also really good at fending off of those grappling transitions. This is kind of a hard fight for me to pick. That's why I'm like kind of struggling. it's kind of like it's low key a pick'em in my humble opinion. Oh man, this is hard for me to go. I can see Ben Rothwell doing the same thing that Augusto Sakai did to Marcin Tybura, just getting him in the clinch and knocking him out there. But I don't know. This is a hard one, Loki, for me to pick. I'm gonna go Ben Rothwell by decision. I might he's 38 though. Oh, this is a hard one, man. If you call me stupid for this one, I'm not even mad at you, bro. And if you go with Tybura, I'm not even gonna be mad at you. Like I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, let's get to the main event. I was about to say co-main event. The main event: Corey Sandhagen versus Marlon Magic Moraes. This is a good fight. I did do a breakdown. I did a big breakdown, like 20 minutes long. So go check that out. There are some things I didn't bring up in that breakdown, so I will talk about this. I'm not going to talk about the stats at all because I talk about it in another video. But I didn't bring up the grappling. It's interesting. Marlon actually did beat, as much as in my head I remember Marlon knocking Rafael Assunção down in the rematch. He did submit him via guillotine, and even against Dotson, he had a really good guillotine at the end of that third round. So Corey Sandhagen has shown that he's a tough guy, man, in those grappling situations. What do I think they cancel out on the ground. I will say that. So I should bring that up. But yeah, I'll keep it short. I'm not a fan of Marlon's gas tank. He's gassed out in his last two fights. I personally feel like I think Corey Sandhagen just has to survive that first round, and I think he's good for the rest of the fight. There's some tells that Corey gives in the stand-up that's not the best thing in the world that I talk about in the breakdown, but besides that, I think I'm pretty confident. I'm going Corey Sandhagen by fifth round TKO. I think he finishes him. I don't know if Marlon's that tough to take it to decision, but it is what it is. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. Go follow me on Instagram. Go follow me on Twitter. eBay Predictions is out. Love y'all, and goodbye.